when I practice my life coaching and then I talk to people online and I offer my services to people, I encounter people with varying degrees of life problems. Now, even though the problems are all very individual in nature, the more I talk to people, the more I can also see some general patterns. And the interesting part is some patterns go against each other. What I mean is, on one hand, I have a group of people who don't have a lot of money. I have a group of people who need to be making a lot of money, not to be live an affluent life, but to get by. And I have a lot of people who never really got the validation and the support that they needed from their parents. And so they don't know how to trust in themselves. And so these end up becoming big problems for these people because everything is in an urgency, right? I need to make money real quick or else I'm going to be evicted from my apartment and so on. I need to make money or else my house is going to get foreclosed and so on, right? But it makes it really hard for you to do these things because you don't have the confidence because you never really got that from your upbringing. So now when you're in this category, you tend to think, if only I had some money. If only I got that kind of love from my parents. On the other hand, I have a group of people who have some of an opposite problem. And by that I mean, these people are more or less financially secure because their jobs pay well, or they got a ton of inheritance, or their family is more or less rich. And their parents love them so much, and now they're coming from a really stable household. So you would think that this wouldn't really lead to any problems. But what happens is now they have no real motivation to do anything. And that can be in terms of career, that can be in terms of just like direction in life in general, that can be in terms of like, I do some things in my life, but the things that I do in my life are more or less set up for me. So it feels like I never really earned anything in my life. And that is like conducive to the idea of, man, if only I had something at stake, I think I'd be able to kind of burn my fuel. I think I'd be able to burn my fire. But everything is too comfortable for me. And so the importance of this is that no matter what your circumstance is, there's always a way to view it as a problem for your life. Moreover, if any situation can be seen as negative, right? Conversely, you can also say that every situation in your life can be a good thing. So, if I am putting on the hat of the poor person who is in urgency, right? When I have the money, man, if I had the money, I can afford to make mistakes. I can afford to do things and fail. But right now, I just can't afford to do that. So now, when you're in that, wearing that hat, and you have some resources available to you, then, good. Your life is good, right? So, conversely, suppose you don't have a lot of resources, right? Suppose you have a lot of resources. Then, you find yourself thinking, man, if only I had some sense of urgency in my life, then I think I'd be able to really, go at something instead of just half-assing everything. And then suppose you're wearing that hat, and then you got into a situation where you are suddenly at a loss for resources and you are that urgent. So, in that case, it's good, right? But what does the human psyche normally do? It normally always opts to choose not the bad one, not the good one, but whatever belief you you have inside of here as a base. So if your base disposition towards the world is that it is a helpful place, it doesn't matter what your circumstances are, you're gonna find a way to make hope for yourself. But if your natural disposition against the world is that it's not a good place to live, then people can throw money at you and you will still find reasons to make yourself believe that it's not a good place to live. So this is why it's very important for you to identify your relationship with the world. What is your outlook on life? And given your outlook, you have your situation. And your situation is very neutral. It doesn't have any good qualities inherently. It doesn't have any bad qualities inherently. But your viewpoint will influence whether it looks good to you or bad to you. So, this means if your life is not that affluent right now and you are in a sense of urgency, what you could potentially benefit from is the idea that you really don't have anything to lose. Yeah, so you can try something and then you can fail. And guess what? You don't really have anything to lose. Because why? There's nothing to foreclose on. There's nothing to get evicted from. Right? And so, but I will be evicted if but I have this and I will be evicted if I fuck up. So that already tells you, right? The more you have, the more you're going to look at it as potential things to lose instead of an asset. So, the more you invite this idea of like, you know what? Yeah, I don't have a lot of money anyway, so let's afford to make some mistakes. Because why? When I have money, I'm going to be risk averse. Because I'm going to be like, oh my god, I earned this money so hard, I can't afford to lose it. So, but right now I don't have that problem. So I can be a little bit more risky with my choices. I can afford to make bigger leaps of faith. And now conversely, if you have the resources, something that you can benefit from is, you know what? I can afford to fail. So let's just try things. Let's get into it. Let's buy this course, see what that's like. Let's enroll in this university, see what that's like. Let's hire this person and get some coaching from them. Because why? I can afford to choose when a lot of people can't, right? So let's use this to my advantage. So, what I'm trying to say is, in summary, depending on your situation, there's always a way you can capitalize on it. So, instead of looking at all the flaws, what are some benefits of your life? And how can you use that as a resource? How can you use that as a capital in this capitalist society?